Hi. Well, today what I want to do is share with you something that I did earlier this year. Uh, I had tried a different method of cloning a particular tree, and something that I wanted to share with you is about cloning. There's a lot of different methods of cloning. I used to grow clematises years ago. I did what I would call layering, and you would take that vine and stick it into the ground, put something over top of it, and the other end of that vine would grow, and over a period of time a root would form underneath that growth, and I would have a start of a clematis. I did that quite a bit years ago. Another method that I had looked into a long time ago and really never did do until earlier this year, and that was air layering. I did it with blueberries, although the blueberries never took. Maybe the time of year, something just didn't click right. Whenever I took one off, it had some type of maggot inside there, and I thought, well, maybe that's the reason why it didn't take. I don't know. Anyhow, I had air layered a crabapple tree that I really like, that I have across the creek from the garage, and this turned out to be the result. Now, mind you, it was a big stem that I air layered. This was just like a test run for me. I got two of them here, and the first one I want to show you is, you can see how big that is, and it's got a good size to it, but you can see the growth that came out of that. Now, I took these loose from the tree probably about 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago, and I did the air layering back in May, and I let them go for approximately 2 months, maybe a little bit longer. And when I took them out of the trees, I could see the root in the bag. And today what I'm going to do is, I have another one. It had a shoot coming up off of it, and something came along and broke off a little bit of what was growing on it. Yeah, the limbs that I used were just too big for what it was I wanted to go after. Since then, I've located other limbs. Next spring, I'm going to try and get a start. This bigger one, by the way, I'll probably find a home for it. It really took off. The reason why I went with these crab apples, number one, to test air layering. Number two, I like the way that in the springtime this had a purple leaf, and while it was leafed out with purple leaves, the flowers would come out and they'd be hot pink. Beautiful, beautiful tree. And I wanted to put a couple of these on the front of my property entering towards the house. But that's a big stalk right there. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take this out of here, out of the pot, and we're going to take a look and see how things turned out, because this one right here, yes, is going to be discarded. It's not wasted work. It's just something that I wanted to do as far as seeing how this would work, because I've never done air layering before. It's just another way of cloning a tree that you want to get a start off of. Not all trees, by the way, are able to be cloned in this manner. A lot of your fruit trees, yes, but this tree was one candidate, and it worked out. It worked out great for me. Hopefully this other one continues to do well and live on. I'm kind of optimistic because the stem is so big. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what has happened since I planted these into the pots. Okay, there it is. Well, it's going to fall apart. It fell apart. That's good. I wanted to see what was going on anyways. Got an itch. Now, I see some root. It did send out roots. So I'm going to go ahead and break it apart and really look it over and see what went on with that air layer. Curiosity killed the cat, by the way. I just want to see it. Some of the root broke off, new fresh growth root. But anyways, I could see what transpired. That's where I cut it off at. And up in here is where I had took it down to the cambium layer of the stem, a little bit of rooting hormone, and there's the peat moss. But yes, that worked. Yes, I'm excited because next year I will be air layering again on this tree. But this time, like I said earlier, I got one little stem trying to grow right there. As I had said earlier this year, it's a different way of cloning, and it's amazing that this can be done in this manner. Oh, that swelled up around the area where the cut was made. See right here? That's a hard node, and it's bigger than the stem. So I know now that it works, and it works very, very well. Yeah, I like that. And that's, for me personally, that is exciting. Now there's a lot of trees that you cannot do this with. And one of them, unfortunately, being the pawpaw. And I don't know if you can do it with persimmons or not, but I just wanted to show you, I do grow trees, and not just one particular type of tree. I grow a number of different types of trees, and I'm learning as I go. But that's exciting that that came out that way. And I'm looking through the dirt, and there's a lot of root fiber that actually broke off whenever I took the dirt apart. And yeah, that's a good way of cloning. That's a good way of getting a tree started. Man, wow, that is something. Look at the root fiber in that. My word. What I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this back and show you. There's a stem. There's where I did the cut and went into the cambium layer. And there's some hardwood right there. Yeah. Impressive. That is a sure way for me to get a start off them trees back there. I just got to try and do it with a smaller stalk. I got carried away with the size, and I had to cut a lot away with the idea that try to make this right here to live, and it did. Wow. Anyways, that was just something that I wanted to share with you. It's the first time that I've ever taken a rootstock apart and looked at what was going on, and I am very, very impressed. Mother Nature has a very, very impressive way of opening up our eyes, and wow. I mean, I could probably take that with that rootstock, put a little bit of rooting hormone, stick it in the daggone pot again, and it'll still live, because look at the fiber. That fiber is there. That's amazing. Wow. I didn't think it would be that great, but for me personally, and what I see and what I do, that's great. All that white stuff, that's new since I planted it. But anyways, next year I'll be trying my hand at grafting, and I will talk about that at another time. But anyhow, get this pot cleaned up, get it put away, because I will be using it in the spring. So my name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell for notifications. You all have a God blessed day.